I've been looking into your face, I realize I know almost everyone in this group. I know mayors, I know city council mayors. I see members of Weber County Republican women. I am Lori Brinkerhoff. I am running for Weber County Commission seat B. That's B for Brinkerhoff. I am a Wyoming farm girl. I've lived here in Weber County for 30 years. My husband and I'm going to just go through the questions because I threw my notes away. I'm going to go through questions I've been asked. First question, how did you get your husband to give you permission to do this? That's a real question. I looked at the individual and I said, this is 2018. I don't need his permission, but I have his support. I believe as I served on Hooper City Council, I believe every man who served beside me would say that. They offered their support. Corey Green's up there and he knows. I ask very hard questions. Second question is, are you ready to play with the big boys? I thought, I didn't know we're going to play. I'm ready to get to work. As a woman, we're used to multitasking. I've served on almost every committee that there is. I've been region director, Utah PTA, for the last 2 years. That means I was in 53 schools within Weber School District and Ogden School District. I've been on Hooper City Council the last 4 years. I'm currently the president of Weber County Women. I work with the Weber County GOP. We are the first ones at every event to do credentialing. We're the first to show up. We're the last ones to go home. That's kind of our role as women. I've worked in the Utah Senate the last 2 years. I'm very familiar with education. I have a degree in education. There you go, Weber State. There's my purple jacket. Graduated in 2000, elementary education, emphasis gifted and talented. People ask me the first 3 questions, why do you want to do this? I don't want to give the same tried true, but it is economic development. As I've raised my children to go out into the workforce, I'm seeing lack of opportunity keeping our children right here. I want to change that through sustainable job growth. Yes, I was the only candidate who sat at the EDC report. I've been the only candidate at every commission meeting. I've been the only candidate sitting at those WACOG meetings. I feel I have a firm understanding and ready for my feet to hit the ground. I understand economic development. I understand growth in Weber County, that needs to be managed growth, what that growth will look like, where that needs to be, and whether or not it needs to be high density, medium density, low density. And the biggest concern that I keep hearing is what about maintaining our rural way of life? I understand the demand for maintaining open space. Last question, I'm going to, let's see. I believe we have a responsibility to create positive relationships. That has not existed. That means in the county, within our employees, in the state, whether we're within UTA, Weber County needs to come to the table and extend a positive hand in all forms of communication.
20 seconds.
I'm going to go with the last question. How many women does it take to run Weber County? Just one. Lori Brinkerhoff. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Mark Miller. I'm running for Weber County Commissioner CP. Thank you all for coming here tonight. I think this vetting process is brilliant, and you are all showing an enormous effort and incentive to listen to us and vet us candidates. I think it's critical for this process. I absolutely love Weber County. I started my business here, and more importantly, I raised my 5 children here. I've been a cheerleader for Weber County, whether it's on the mountain biking trails or in the airplanes or wherever I am. I firmly believe that this place is better than any other place I've ever lived. I've had an engineering firm for 20 years that consults with governmental agencies, mostly cities and counties. This has been my profession. One of the brightest political minds I know told me as I got started in this, qualifications don't matter. It was very frustrating because I feel like they should. I've been consulting with mayors, city councils, public works directors, city and county managers, attorneys, you name it. I've been consulting with them on governmental issues for years. You've heard the term tonight, economic development. That's been a huge thing, and there's mixed feelings on that, but you notice that the big thing that many of you know about economic development in this audience is if we have prosperous economic development in Weber County, what that does is it keeps the government out of our lives. There's not the need for the government interference. It keeps taxes low, and most importantly, it keeps our kids living and working here and not moving somewhere else. We've been settling for the scraps of this Utah County point of the mountain, these projections we've been hearing about all the growth going on down there. And we are not going to do that anymore because I have a plan to unite the cities and county for economic development growth. I call it Weber United, and I really believe it's going to work because what affects one city and is good for one city is good for Weber County in general. Secondly, I would like you to know that I've always had a great admiration for the Founding Fathers, because when there was contention and when their livelihoods and even their safety was at stake, they made a huge choice. The choice was they stayed in the room.
30 seconds.
And I can pledge to you that I am going to be one of those people that stay in the room regardless of disagreements or anything else. We are going to resolve issues as I am at the county commission, and I will use my technical skills as an engineer to solve complex problems and help this county grow and spread my love for this area. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Scott Jenkins, and I'm running for County Commission, CP. So, I'm the last one. I know, we're just about out of time, so I'll make this quick. It's a privilege for me to be able to stand in front of you and run for County Commission. I'm a little different than many of these candidates. I have a record that you can look back on. My record starts with municipal government. I was born and raised in Plain City, and I served for years on the city council out there and as a mayor. And I'm proud to present to you today the fact that Plain City has had some of the lowest taxes in the state. Not only when I was mayor, but still today. And we've learned out there how to keep our taxes low and how to manage government fiscally. And I expect and hope that I will have the same opportunity to do that on a county level, to manage the budget and manage the size of government. I've been a believer all along, ever since my youth, that it was the responsibility of elected officials to keep government small. I believe in small government that's accountable to the people, and I believe in small taxes as much as possible. And I say that because I realize that there does come responsibilities to manage government. But government gets out of hand. And government should answer to the people, not people answering to the government. We've got that backwards here so many times. I also had a chance in my life to be a senator. I spent 16 years representing the area we're in right now as Senate District 20. As a state senator, I have a record there also. Grassroots puts out a sheet every year that rates us and makes us accountable to how we vote and what our voting record's like. And I would encourage you to look up Grassroots for the last years. They're on the internet. And check my voting record. I've been very conservative in the way I've voted, and I've worked very hard to keep government accountable. I've also been a proven commodity when it comes to economic development. You can look at the bills I've run over the years and the things I've done in the legislature that has allowed the state to grow. We are in one of the most prosperous states and the prosperous economies in the nation right now. And it's not by chance. It was done through hard work in the state. And as a fiscal conservative, I would implore and ask you now for your support, that I can hopefully do the same thing as a county commissioner. So my name is Scott Jenkins, and I thank you. It's good to be here today.
Thank you.